Hey everybody, it's Erica. It's 11:59 and we are about to officially be live in 1 minute, but I wanted to go ahead and hop on. Sitting outside on a gorgeous but warm day, of course, here in Houston, Texas. And I see that the lady of the day, of the hour, of the minute, Maritza Ortega, has just joined us. So I'm going to let her in just a little bit. But hello to everybody who is joining in. We have Leah, one of my agents. Hello. Thanks for joining. So I'm about to add Maritza in just a little bit. Looking at everybody that is hopping on. Thanks so much for all of you for joining. So Maritza and I have been working together for a while now. Time flies, probably about 6 years. She is my go-to stager. She is the go-to stager of many of my agents. So I will be interviewing her today. So let me go ahead and add her now. Hey, Becca. Hi, Maritza. How are you doing?
Hello, I am doing good. I decided to join you and do this video outside because it is a beautiful day.
Yeah, right. I actually, sorry, of course my dogs are barking in the background now. I like filming outside because I feel like the lighting is good. And at my house, I have this spot that's shady, but then like the sunlight comes out. So, sorry, lots of barking. I don't know. There's my mother who just joined, Dana. Thanks so much. Um, yeah, we actually have 5 dogs right now, Maritza.
Wow.
Have my 3 and then 2 that we ended up rescuing. Looks like we have an application for one of them to get adopted. So hopefully
Oh, that's wonderful.
it'll be a little bit quieter here soon, but they're really sweet dogs. And it's one of those things, just had to scoop them up out of that situation. So anyway, but yeah, I was just telling everybody, I think you and I started working together maybe in 2014. So it's actually been a while.
Probably yes.
In my head, it hasn't been that long, but I'm like, oh yeah, that has been a little while. So,
Yes.
oh, Maritza, you have a hair compliment from Leah, one of my
Ah,
agents.
thank you.
She's
Yes,
got
I do love my hair and I actually cut it yesterday. So look at us, both curly hair
girls.
girls. Yes.
Yes, yes. Hey, Catherine, thanks for joining. Yeah. Well, I wore, you can kind of see it, one of my most colorful shirts for you because I feel like you're a very
Hmm.
colorful, happy, positive person. So I thought that was appropriate. And I did dance fitness exercise this morning and also thought of you because I know that.
Perfect. Yeah, I do love
Yeah,
Zumba and all
yeah,
things shaky, shaky.
yes, exactly. You know, I grew up dancing and did drill team and all that. So it's my favorite exercise too. I have some videos I do at home, a girl I like on YouTube, and just do it that way. You're having to do it at home right now too, huh?
Well, actually, Zumba classes just started
Yep.
live classes yesterday, so I was very happy that we finally went back.
Good. I'm waiting to my mom. Okay, well, we'll get kind of into the meat of things. So I just wanted to do an interview with Maritza so y'all could get to know her. Um, just since she is such an important part of our team and what we do, she's a cool person to know. And she has a lot of good tips and ideas. And bottom line, what she does works. So that's why we work with her over and over again. So Maritza, can you just tell us a little bit about who you are and I don't know, something we might not know about you and your background?
Absolutely. I started my company in 2013, so it probably a little bit before we started working
Yep.
together. I took my training and I have been helping homeowners, realtors, and investors ever since. We have been growing. It's still me doing most of the projects, and I just love the hands-on. And I've always loved everything about actually all things home, and that's how I went, or what led me to staging. So one thing I thought about sharing with you is
Yeah.
that I love my garden, and that's another reason I decided to sit here. I love gardening, and some of my plants come from homes where I have done consultations, and
That's
that's one way
awesome.
to connect. That's one way of connecting with people, if,
Yeah.
especially if they do have plants. This one right here has gotten big and beautiful, and it was a little cutting that I brought from another house.
Oh,
So I
wow.
have
That's so
very
cool.
many different plants that have been just little pieces that I have brought and that have grown. And I love gardening, so that's one thing I thought
Fabulous.
about sharing.
Yeah. I have some random bits of furniture from clients. It's maybe not as cool as plants, but actually my desk is I was representing the buyer, and the seller had some really great furniture and was trying to get rid of it, and my clients didn't want it. So I was like, can I buy that from you? And then I painted it, and it's gorgeous. It's like one of my
It
favorite pieces.
is.
But
You know,
it's
now
been
that
fun.
you mentioned you had a client in the Champion
Yeah.
Forest area, and she had a lot of books. We staged her building bookcases with some of the
Okay. I
books,
know the
but
one
then
you're
she
talking
said,
about.
yeah, then she said, you can just take them. And those are the books that we use them, because books are very versatile, and you can always
Yeah.
add them to, of course, stage
Yep.
bookcases and at height, or just an accessory for the house. So
Yeah.
we gotten some books from some of the people that
Perfect.
we have staged for.
Perfect. You have another person who's singing your praises, my agent Catherine, saying that
Oh
you're a miracle worker.
yeah.
Loves you.
Oh,
So,
thank you, Catherine. Mwah,
yeah.
I love you too.
So, for people who don't really know or aren't familiar, can you kind of explain what staging is and maybe how that's different than regular, interior design or decorating?
Absolutely. And what that's one of the most common misconceptions about staging. A lot of people actually come to me saying, "Are you a designer? Are you a decorator?" And staging is very different from that, because staging is
Yeah.
just professionally preparing the home for the market. Our goal is to attract buyers, to reduce the number of days on the market, and to generate more money or
Yeah.
maximize the profit.
Yeah.
And with decorating or design is more specific to the personal taste of the homeowner. I'm going to
Right.
display all your pictures and your collections and utilize your favorite colors, but I'm going to focus on you. Whereas staging is for the general public.
Yeah, yeah. No, that makes perfect sense. And that's why it's kind of tricky sometimes when I'm talking to a client, because it's not that they don't have great taste. They might have some really
Absolutely,
lovely things, but it's specific to what they like. And we're trying to make it a little bit more vanilla to where it's going to appeal to the masses, which is where you
absolutely.
come in. And one of my favorite things about you, because I don't have to do the dirty work of telling somebody, hey, we need to neutralize this. I get to focus on talking about real estate and talking about pricing and negotiating and all that, and let you handle kind of this softer side. I'll say too, one of the reasons, well, I'll back up and just tell everybody so they know, I go ahead and hire Maritza to work on all of my listings, and it's a cool plug for me because I explain to my clients this is something, a service that I pay for that's complimentary to you as a part of my listing process, because I believe it's so important.
It
And I
is.
feel like not only does it get the home sold for top dollar, I'm always just amazed. Even homes where I'm kind of going, oh, how's she going to wave a magic wand with this one? It works. And it really cuts down on my investment of time too, because I feel like my listing consultations could probably go a good 2 hours extra, because you
Yes,
spend that long
absolutely.
at
That's
least.
yes, that's how much we
Yeah.
spend on a
And
house.
I don't
Yeah.
have to worry about it. And I know enough to be dangerous. And I'm kind of going, well, maybe you should do this, maybe you should do that. And I just don't even have to worry about it. It's like, Marisa will tell you.
Yes. And the
So,
benefit is that you, just like you said, you don't have to be the bad guy. You keep your good relationship with your sellers. And also, you don't have to be in that uncomfortable position of telling them that their house smells or that their collections are beautiful, but they still have to be removed. So those are
Right.
some of the benefits of hiring someone else to do that job.
Right. Right. Can I ask you, how did you get into staging?
That's a wonderful question. So there are two stories. Like I said, I've always liked everything home, and that's because I grew up in a home that wasn't that
Yeah.
beautiful home. So you
Right.
grow up to
Right.
be the same or the opposite. Well, I grew
Right.
up to be the opposite.
Right.
And I have always enjoyed having a pleasant environment to live in. I was always looking at homes on the market for, especially for investment purposes. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes as the public, you might be just driving around a neighborhood that you like, you see a house for sale, and you immediately go inside and look at the house
Right.
to see how it looks. Maybe you're just curious. So mostly I was just curious looking at homes on the market. They look beautiful outside, and you wonder how
Yeah.
people live. Well, many times I was disappointed on the presentation of those homes,
Right.
but I thought it is what it is. So this was 7, 10 years ago. Staging was not as popular, so I just thought it is what it is. So one day there was a house on the market here in my neighborhood, and it had an open house. So what do
Mm-hmm.
neighbors do? They're nosy, right? And my neighbor asked me to go with her to see the house, and we did. We knew the people that lived in that house because you always drive by. I always drive by the same street, and you can
Yeah.
see who lives where. And sometimes the kids were playing outside, misbehaving, mistreating the dog. Their yard was always full of toys. And when we went inside the
Hold on. You
house,
just got really scratchy. Is that just me, or I don't know if
um,
anybody else?
I don't know, I can hear you well.
Okay, that's a little better. Just got real robotic and scratchy. Okay, keep
Okay.
going.
So when we went inside the house, I was amazed.
Yeah.
The house was clean, organized. It only had the right amount of furniture. It looked perfect, like a model
Yeah.
home. And I thought, there's no way they live like this. They
Right.
can't live
Right.
like this. I know those kids, they can't live
Nobody's
like this.
capable of
No.
that. Yeah.
So I said, I was suspicious, and my neighbor said, yeah, that's called staging. And that's when it clicked, and I said, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
And I did some research and found that there's a whole industry, and there was also a training course. So I took the training course, and that the rest of it is history. It's
Perfect.
that
Perfect.
I've been
Um,
helping people ever
if
since.
anybody else is like getting Maritza scratchy, will you message? I'm hoping it's just my phone doing something weird all of a sudden, or our connection. But let us know if you can't hear so we can adjust. But so Maritza, off the top of your head, not to put you on the spot, but do you know any sort of statistics that kind of speak to the effectiveness? Leah says that your
Yeah,
voice is
the voice
breaking
is
too.
breaking.
Do you want to, is there a way to move, I don't know, within the garden? Or I
Let's
could
see.
have you exit and join back in. I don't know if that would do
Let's
anything.
try that.
Okay. All right.
So I think I just click on
Yeah.
the.
If you'll exit, then I'll join. Okay. That sounds like I'm sounding okay, maybe, but she's just a little scratchy. So we'll let her come back on. Yeah, she's going to reconnect. So I definitely want y'all to be able to hear what she says. She's just so sweet and so much fun. Okay, let's see if we can get her back on, not so scratchy.
Okay.
Oh my gosh,
Is
so
that
much
better?
better.
Okay,
Yes.
good.
I
Good.
was like this.
Oh, sorry about that.
No, you don't sound like that. Okay, sorry. So you were about to enlighten us kind of the statistics that speak to the effectiveness of staging.
Okay,
Um,
yes, absolutely. So I did my research,
yeah,
and of course, we have tons of stories. Catherine can tell you one,
yeah.
but I did my research this morning, and I got my statistics from the National Association of Realtors.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're curious about, you can just go in that, just Google National Association of Realtors home staging statistics, and you'll
Okay,
get a full page of information. That's
perfect.
something good to share with buyers, with sellers sometimes, a
Yeah,
good resource. So 80% of buyer agents have said that staging has an impact on their buyers and how they can perceive the property as their future home. And
Getting
then,
scratchy again.
I'm sorry about that. I don't know why. Maybe if I move again.
If I wonder if it's the connection. Is it are you doing an earpiece?
I am doing an earpiece, yes.
I wonder. Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Oh yeah. Okay, that was the problem, I think.
Yes.
All right, we got it. Okay, so 80%.
83% of buyers agents have said that staging has an impact on their clients and the buyers.
Yeah.
When they're looking for a home, and how the staging can make a difference on how they perceive the property as their future home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Then 53% of sellers agents say that staging can reduce the days on the market tremendously.
Yeah.
The amount of time that a home spends on the market.
Right. And I know all of us anecdotally could just attest to what a big difference it makes. You know, kind of the way that I operate and the way that I train my agents to, you know, step sort of like 3 pieces. The first is we have to make sure that the home looks amazing. Mm-hmm. And that's where you come in. 2, we take amazing photos to capture all the great recommendations that you've made, all the super hard work that our clients have put into it. And then 3, we price it right so that we just get grabbed up really quickly, and oftentimes can find ourselves in bidding wars, which is a wonderful position for the seller to be in. So I definitely just can't imagine operating without it. So can you give us kind of like top 3 tips that you might give to a seller, maybe somebody that is kind of new to staging, but maybe pass along kind of like the top 3 mistakes or, you know, corrections that you see?
Absolutely. So tips or mistakes?
Yes.
So I thought about it, and I think that for homeowners, the greatest mistake is not hiring an agent that offers staging, because staging is a marketing tool, and an agent that offers that service is actually helping them prepare their home and make it look its best so that we can receive top dollar. So that's one. And another mistake that I've seen homeowners as well as realtors is to stage their own properties, and especially if we're just adding a little flower piece or art. Sometimes I see realtors bringing stuff from their house that they no longer need or want, and that doesn't help the property.
It's just like more garbage.
Yes, absolutely.
You didn't want this.
That I don't want. Or I've seen people adding just a little table, a little lamp, and a rug. That doesn't help the property. It just creates a distraction because it's just a little something in the middle of a big room. So it doesn't really help a buyer see the scale of the room or the possibilities. So those are the 2 mistakes. And as far as tips or things that people can start doing to prepare their home for the market, and very easy and very inexpensive, one is cleaning. That's actually the easiest and most inexpensive. Cleaning, there's nothing like a clean home. You can have it beautifully decorated, but if it's not clean, it's not going to appeal to buyers. So start cleaning. Detail the home the way that you would detail your car. All those areas, the light fixtures, the bathrooms, of the baseboards, all those little areas. And the other one is depersonalizing. Not only pictures and religious items, but sometimes we have collectibles or art pieces that can create a distraction.
Yep.
Our house is not a museum. So we want people to come to the house and actually see the house and its features, because we're selling. And find all the collections, all the valuables, all those things that can create a distraction.
Yep.
And then the third one is to start packing, because our goal is to move. And for that, we're going to have to pack. So we're just going to start packing early. Pack everything that is not a necessity. Just like if we were living in a hotel, just with the basics, that's how we want to live. And I always tell people, if you compromise to living like this for about a month, it will pay off, because the house sells and you can go back to your regular,
your normal life.
Yes. But you don't want to make any changes. Well, the house is going to sit on the market for 6 months and nobody wins.
Yeah.
So the investment I tell people the investment can be the effort and time in doing these things because it requires nothing else but time and effort,
Yep.
and the investment pays off.
Yep. Yeah, I tell people it's a lot of elbow grease in the beginning. I warn them that you're going to come and you're going to have your list and I get a copy and all that. And, you know, it might seem like a lot, especially if they've been in the home for decades. They've had time to accumulate a lot of excessive things and, you know, kind of let some things go. And so you're right. It's kind of like, do you want to invest on the front end and get the home sold? Or do you want to just kind of look mediocre and just sit on the market for months and months and months and keep dealing with tons of people coming through your door and interrupting your life? And I'd much rather go with the former option, which ultimately, statistically, we know puts more money in your pocket too. So that seems like the win-win.
Absolutely.
I have to laugh. One day I was looking, well, a couple things are coming to mind. One time I was looking at a house. I think I was previewing it for a client and it was vacant. And the realtor literally under the chandelier put a cardboard box with a little tablecloth over it and 2 plates. And I was just like, are you kidding me? Like, why? Maybe you just put it there so nobody hit their head on the chandelier. I don't know, but it looked so pathetic. It was sad. And the other thing, kind of like you're saying about collections, you don't want that to be so salient and in people's faces that that's all that they think about. Because my husband and I actually looked at a property not too long ago. And the poor woman, when her son moved off to college, she converted his room into the doll room. And it was so creepy. It was just like all these dolls everywhere. And there were like 5 of them on the bed and all on the shelf. And they were just all staring at you, you know. And so I know she loved them and thought they were sweet. But that house would become the dollhouse to anybody. And they're, like you said, they're not looking at the features. They're not seeing the great yard because all they can fixate on are creepy dolls. So...
And when we're shopping for a house, we want to create memories, but we don't want to be remembered as the house with the doll house or the purple bathroom. That's not the type of memory that we want to create. We want to create a pleasant memory, that the house felt good, the house that had a lot of light coming into the room. Yep.
Absolutely agree. The emotional component is so important. And I think that's what is happening. You use the word hotel, and I tell my clients we're selling a fantasy. So I know, I'm not saying, you know, you're a slob, whatever, this is how we all live, but for a short time you're going to have to sell a fantasy because that's what's going to make people want to offer on your home and offer top dollar. So really good information. So can you tell me, just kind of from a career perspective, you know, what are your favorite parts of the job? Surely there's just nothing that you dislike, but I'd be interested if you had anything that, you know, kind of your least favorite parts as well.
So my least favorite part, I have 2. One is doing the bed. The bed is the most painful and takes a lot of time, and you have to iron and make sure it's all perfect.
So getting it like picture perfect for the photos. And the staging, it's hard to make a wrinkledy, rumpledy thing look crisp.
Making sure that the mattress is not showing.
The
pillows have to be just great. So I think that's the most time consuming, and it's not my favorite. And my other one is carrying stuff. Because last time we staged the house, it was a condominium. So we had to go up and down the elevator with all our boxes.
Okay, carrying. I thought you said caring, and I'm like, you're a very caring person.
Carrying.
Yes, carrying, moving the stuff.
Yeah, those are my 2 least favorites. And my most favorite is actually the interaction with people and building relationships. And of course, see their smile when they see the house, or that they can't believe that that's their house.
I know.
When they sell and they're very happy about it, about achieving their goal. So I think that is what brings the most joy, and it's very rewarding. So those are my most favorite.
That is very fulfilling. I'm kind of bad about letting you know once. I mean, usually you'll see on Facebook or something and be like, oh, it's under contract. So I'm like, oh, that stinks for her. She put in all this work. Like she needs to get that like final, like the chapter's closed and it went well. But yeah, it is rewarding to know that you're helping people, I'm sure. and see that finished product. And I'm almost scared sometimes when the photos come out because I'm like, oh, they're not going to want to move anymore because it looks so good. They're always like, we should have done that 20 years ago. So it's really funny. So if somebody were interested in getting into staging, do you have any resources or recommendations for how they might consider that?
I would say education, because it's not just fluffing the pillows and arranging hanging art. It's about a business. So I
Right.
think education and procedures and all the things about dealing with clients and how to handle your business. I think that's the most important part and the one that you don't think of. So I'd say education and join an association where you find that support. So one of them is stagedhomes.com. That's where I took my designation. And there's also another one that I absolutely love, that it's the Home Staging and Redesign Association. Again, for education, training, support, just continue improving, continue learning, continue staying on the edge of the industry.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I say education, and those two are the industry leaders.
Yep. Maritza, somebody who's watching, if they would like to work with you, maybe we can have you at the end message your info, but maybe you can just kind of tell us verbally, where do we find you?
Yes. Well, of course, on social media, on Instagram and Facebook, but also on our website at maritzaortega.com.
Okay. And for people who don't know, it's M like Mary, A-R-I-T as in Tom, Z as in zebra, A, Maritza Ortega.
So when I was in elementary school, people would make fun of me, calling me Maritza Pizza.
Oh.
So now I always tell people when they have difficulty with
Maritza
my
like pizza.
Maritza Pizza.
Yeah.
Remember.
Then you get that Z in there, just so important. Now, is there anything else off the top of your head that we did not cover that you would like to share? And if not, just because I think you're such a positive person, if there's any sort of life philosophies that you would like to share with us, how you conduct your business, how you go about life, I'm totally throwing her a curveball. But if you watch Maritza's stuff, she's always just very positive. By the way, her profile is a fun one to follow because she takes really cool photos. And anyway, so just kind of opening the floor if there's anything else that I didn't cover that you want to share.
I would say just generate the energy that you want to receive. I am often amazed of how many good people I find around me.
Yeah.
And I think it's that what you generate.
Yeah. What you get back. Yeah.
I would say just smile, stay positive.
Yes.
Right side. Those.
Yes. I love it. I love it. Perfect. Well, we sure appreciate you joining us today. It's been wonderful. Y'all should definitely check out Maritza on her social media and on her website. She is a huge asset to us. We've loved working with her. I know will love working with her as well. Let either of us know if you have any questions. Thanks so much for joining. Maritza, this has been a super fun.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Usually I'm just talking to myself in my phone, and so it's really nice to actually feel like there's somebody on the other end there, and I'm not just staring into like this little tiny hole and losing my train of thought. So it's been great having you. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much for asking me to join.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime. Perfect. All right. Well, everybody have a great Thursday. Thanks for joining us. Threshold Thursdays. Bye, Maritza.